Hi, and welcome back to the Cheeky Crypto Podcast. My name's Chris, and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another podcast video. And I'm joined by none other than JB. How are you, JB?
What's going on, everybody? Nice, lovely day here yet again, as always. No complaints. All good here. Nothing new to report, really. It's just another standard day here for me. Carried on a little bit more studying. You know, we've done a little bit here in the background. Quite happy with everything that's going on. More still to come. So yeah, continue to improve myself so far. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been another long day, and I've got the dreaded Wednesday where basically Nick has a day off, and that's a joke, by the way. He has his day off, and the market goes to shit, and it's little old me there in the Discord.
Fortunately, as we can see for this week's events, there's nothing too major that's going to affect the market, so we can let Nick have at least one Wednesday off.
Hopefully. But yeah, all good. Loads going on. We will be releasing our newsletter soon, and yeah, we're going to have the website up and running hopefully today when this goes out, which would be fantastic. Outside of that, yeah, it's just been full on, lots going on, and the usual crypto stuff. Nick's AI trade ideas bot is doing fantastically well in the Discord, obviously still in beta, but yeah, it's been fantastic. Do give us a follow if you enjoy the content. Mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. But let's sort of get into some crypto news. JB, what do you want to sort of kick us off with?
If we're starting off with crypto here, I think it'd be wrong not to start off with Grayscale. Obviously, we're seeing a lot more coming about Grayscale, which, you know, we knew was on the horizon. We knew this was likely to happen, and you know, it's what do you want to call this? An argument? Let's say a public argument, a publicly displayed letter between Cameron Winklevoss of Genesis, sorry, and Barry Silbert of the DCG. So yeah, there's quite a lot going back and forward here publicly as well, which, you know, I like to see that. I think that's a good sign. Whether it's both of them trying to make themselves look better in the public eye, who knows? We'll find out more as, you know, time comes on. But yeah, very interesting read. I think we should possibly attach the link to the tweet in the comments below, in the description below, sorry. There is obviously I would say that's a publicly pinned letter from Cameron Winklevoss, which I do urge quite a lot of people to go and have a read. Yeah, would you like to touch a little bit on the letter here, Chris? Pick out a few little things from it.
Yeah, I think pick out a few bits would be cool. What stands out the most to you?
Well, obviously we're seeing the number here. The numbers here that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust owns 653,633 Bitcoins. What else is quite outstanding here? The group's current problem stems from its Genesis subsidiary, which reportedly owes the crypto platform Gemini $900 million. Now, this isn't new. This is something we have covered a lot here. But what is quite new here is that Cameron Winklevoss, basically the Winklevoss twins, who are the co-founders of Gemini, they claim that DCG owns Genesis $1.675 billion, of which around 900 million is owed to Gemini Earn and its 340,000 users. Now, this is obviously the key part of this that we're going to get into here, the letter that Cameron Winklevoss has penned publicly to Barry Silbert. But this is obviously out there. It's actually on Twitter. It's there for everybody to read, and I do urge everyone to go and read it. One thing I will pick up off the letter is how many times that allegedly the Winklevoss twins have tried to contact Barry Silbert and the DCG, explaining the situation. They want the resolution, allegedly. I'm going to constantly say allegedly here because who can you really trust these days on the internet? It would be the same as, right now for me, it would be the same as Sam Bankman-Fried publicly penning a letter saying the same kind of thing. But throughout the letter, he's pleading to him in a sense that it's the of the 340,000 Earn users, they're not just numbers on a spreadsheet, they're real people. a single mum who lent her son's education money to you, a father who lent his son's bar mitzvah money to you, a husband and wife who lent their life savings to you, a school teacher who lent his children's college funds to you. Goes on and on and on. Obviously, we can get the premise of what it is he's trying to say here. But allegedly, for the past 6 weeks, they have done everything they can to contact DCG and to receive their money. And then, obviously, for the purpose of the likes of Spotify here, that was air quotes. Everything they can. Come on. They've not done everything they can. We know they can do more. But rolling on for everything here, I do urge, again, everybody to read this letter because it is very eye-opening to read, let's say that.
Yeah.
And then off the back of it, also here on Twitter, 𝗲𝗬𝗀𝗪 has since responded to Cameron Winklevoss. Again, you'll be able to read through that as well.
I think
it's public profanity, let's put it to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very interesting. The fact that it's been done in sort of the public eye, which I kind of feel is more pressure being sort of pushed towards certain individuals to make a public statement as well and get the resolution. Maybe they have attempted to try many different ways to sort of position conversations, and it just hasn't worked out. And I've kind of been saying that it has been far too quiet, right? And that makes me more nervous if you kind of consider how public everything was and how much information was coming out from the whole FTX scenario, the Celsius, the Voyager. It was a completely different level to what we've seen with Gemini, Genesis, and Grayscale. So yeah, that did make me feel a little bit uneasy, and I think we're going to see something really interesting sort of unfold over the coming weeks here with these particular companies, because something isn't quite right in my eyes, and I can sense it.
Just to simplify this, right? They keep stressing that, sorry, the Winklevoss twins keep stressing here they've done everything they can to get 𝗲𝗬𝗀𝗪 and co. to sit in a room with them, sort things out. If you've done everything you can, it would have happened. It's not hard. This is business at the end of the day. Everybody wants a solution. We know what I'd like to think we know what the solution is. It's not overly hard. Have they really done everything they can to resolve this situation? At the end of the day, I think this boils down to greed. This person wants money, that person wants money. They don't want to pass money about. It's the worst thing in the world to me is money, because so much bad things generate from money. Obviously, it's one of the best things in the world because we all have to have it. So fundamentally, this all boils down to greed. Who doesn't want to lose out here? And for me, it's going to be a very nasty ending.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'll segue us into the SEC, and I guess the spin doctors trying to hide the crypto regulation disaster. And we've seen this a lot. And yeah, look, I kind of feel that they've really let down investors. And I say this based on their actual mission statement. And I've said this a few times. We talk about Genesis, we talk about Gemini, we talk about Grayscale. We kind of feel that, a lot of this stuff, probably wouldn't be in, well, I don't think we'd be in this situation if like the regulation was there, like measures were put in place, rather than going down through this how can I explain it, this I guess regulation for enforcement sort of route that they've gone down, and actually stick within the framework of their mission statement. I think in order to do that, you have to manage the sector differently. I think you have to give clarity when clarity is due, and you just have to look at the Ripple case, and everything that's happened there. Jay Clayton obviously dropping the well, I say dropping, but kicking off the lawsuit, I guess, with Ripple, and then leaving the very next day, and he's handed over the gauntlet to Gary Gensler, who has dropped the ball on FTX massively. Seems to have a what I believe to be, a potential hidden agenda here, like, speculation, don't get me wrong, but, towards Binance, how can you be somebody that didn't seem to have a problem with FTX being able to buy out Voyager? What due diligence was done there? You were quite happy for FTX to absorb, the assets for Voyager, but now Binance tries to. You've got an issue with that, and I just think it's an absolute shit show. And you see articles being written on it that they're trying to obviously spin things in a very, very different narrative. What's your take?
We do the article in particular. I would like to obviously point you to, if you want to look into it. It is on Forbes' website. Excuse me, sorry. Now, first of all, I'll start off with what a wonderful succession of chairmen we've had here, Mr. J. Clayton and obviously Mr. Gary Gensler. I mean, do we need to say more on this? You all know fine and well our opinion on Gary Gensler. I don't feel J. Clayton is much better. I like his name, that's about it. But yeah, wonderful succession of chairmen, and neither have done this space wonders. We called this before on the previous podcast that was on. Call these guys out, tell us what you've done in this space to help us. But obviously Forbes, they're covering on here, and they say that any party which dares to challenge the SEC needs financial reserves, superstar lawyers, and years of patience for litigation to play out in court. We're seeing that going on right now with Ripple. Ripple obviously didn't necessarily challenge the SEC, but we know what's going on there. So are we living in a world right now that everything is a security, bar Bitcoin? We're not. The SEC is not helping it the case here. They're not settling the fears that we have right now in the space that everything may face a potential loss in the future. So again, it leads back to what Chris said about their mission statement here. They're not living up to their mission statement by protecting us and basically clearing the way for us to invest safely in this market and giving us clarity on what we can and what we can't, what they're going to impose sanctions on. It's just every day we turn here, it just feels like the SEC is inadvertently failing us more and more. I feel that's my personal take on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just go back to Jay Clayton and his sort of reign over the SEC. As a leader, supposed to be a leader, powerful leader of the SEC. Basically having the lawsuit against Ripple seems very, very odd because they're claiming that it's a security, right? So you would have expected Ripple to have been, I don't know, told to stop selling XRP, some official warnings or something in the lead up to the case. I could understand there being a lawsuit if Ripple had been told by the SEC. Bear in mind, Ripple have been asking for clarity, right? If they had received official warnings and continued to sell XRP, then yeah, fill your boots, have a lawsuit. But that never happened. And this is what I mean. This is, I guess it would have been better to have gone down the official route, giving like warnings. If they don't adhere to it, then, you could make those warnings public, in essence. We see it with the UK regulators. You can, they flag Binance, for example. They're not a regulated crypto exchange in the UK. Why are the SEC not saying, Ripple is classed as a security, and we've told Ripple to stop? They've had some official warnings, but they should not be selling it. This is a security. None of that happened. That's how you protect retail investors and investors alike. Just going down this enforcement route has just caused more pain and negative impact on investors, like in my opinion. And you're right. Does it mean that everything is a security moving forward, apart from Bitcoin and Ethereum? And you could argue that Ethereum is a security, really, in the respect that their foundation needs to keep selling off ETH near the peaks of bull runs in order to continue work, in order to build out the ecosystem. It's not like it's just running itself. It's still being done. Just because it's got a foundation, it's just another loophole that's being utilized. So it's one of those. I just think the SEC have really just let everybody down, and they're as much to blame as the fraudsters themselves, because they haven't got a framework in place that protects investors. They just haven't.
I mean, what's kind of key to point out here is the SEC want every single crypto asset to register with the SEC for it to be treated like a stock. That would then make this what?
Yeah,
a regulated space.
Yeah, and I think if they were to do something along those lines, but like have proper audits, have firms for crypto that are there to audit. And unless you have audits, and proper audits, not like these fake audits where JB audits Chris and Chris just says, right, here's a slip of paper, this is the amount of money in my bank. Not once does JB see my bank statement to back that up. He just looks at the piece of paper and says, yeah, Chris has got £400,000 in his bank, or dollars in his bank. That's not an audit. You need to be able to look at the actual bank details themselves to verify that that's what I have, not just what I say I have. And this is what we've kind of seen with a lot of the exchanges, and lending platforms. They're not real audits. They're not like one of the top 4 audit companies or top 5 audit companies, that are going in and verifying the details, right? The collateral, the liquid assets, and that side of things. And I think we need to see the full picture if you want to be.
I think it'd be fascinating to see this happen. Could you imagine seeing the outcome, a public outcome, to show us what they found in audit of certain companies? I think it would just be fascinating to be able to see this.
Yeah, but what better way than to have proper audits on these companies and have that public to an extent. It doesn't necessarily have to say how much they've got, but you could have a classification like A+ being like, what, they've got more assets than they need. You know what I mean? It just needs to be something along those lines. And oh shit, this one's a D, I should probably stay away from this exchange. And they're just done quarterly or something.
But off the back of that, they also could do, right, this is a D, and this is, let's just say Binance is the first one came to my head here. One of their categories were a D, but this is what we're going to do next to improve.
Yeah.
And this is our roadmap. Let's call it that. This is what we're going to do next. This is how we can make it better for everybody. Yeah. This is why you should come and invest with us. This is what we have done. This is what everyone, the audit has found. And this is what's going to happen next. How much better would that be for the space? I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, and I think that way you've got proper regulation, you proper frameworks in order to keep investors safe. But at the moment, the SEC, their mission statement is not factually accurate based on what we're actually seeing action wise. And I always say this: actions speak louder than words. Anybody can say, I'm going to do this, but not do it. But say, I wanted to do it, but you didn't, did you? And so you're not actually like, following what you're saying in your mission statement. Is kind of my poorly articulated way of putting it.
No, I think you've done that wonders. That was perfectly fine. We all know what you mean. We see you guys on Twitch every day. We know how to articulate things.
I just think it's just mad. It really is.
Talk about madness.
Yeah.
Nepal. They have now ordered their telecommunication authorities to block internet service providers for any crypto-related activity in Nepal. So it's obviously not the first we've seen done this, but it is another. What do you make of all this?
I really don't get it. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make much sense to me. I am like really just lost for words. I mean, look.
First of all, though, right? It's not going to stop anybody doing it.
No.
We know how to do it. Very simple. Anyone, I'm not going to say anyone, that is the wrong thing to say. Not anyone can set up a VPN. But I'd like to think 90% of people using computers can set up a VPN and they'll be able to use it. So we've seen the likes of China, Algeria, Bangladesh, Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, Qatar, Tunisia. The list goes on. They've all done this. They don't want countries, they don't want their civilians trading crypto in the country. So what do they do? VPN, Surfshark, whatever. Push yourself, get a VPN, and they can trade. Doesn't work. But why don't they want you to trade crypto in their country? Very simple. They don't get a cut.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, I just think that it's absolutely bonkers.
If they want a cut of this, regulate it. It all comes back to, for me, it all comes back to regulations. I see no other reason why they don't want you to trade, because trade in their countries, for me, it's they're not getting a cut of what you're trading. I think it all comes down to that, which again, this is kind of all coming back to greed again. I may be totally wrong and off here with this, and if I am, you know, I do take it all back, but I just feel that it comes down to they don't want you to be doing this because they're not getting a cut of the action.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm going to say it as I see it. And I'm going to pose the question to the audience. How long do you think it'll be before they do a U-turn? Because, like, let's be honest, right? We've kind of said this is the next iteration of the internet. It's the next iteration of payments, and everything will be tokenized, right? We've said this. I just think that there'll be a reversal. A year, 2 years, 3 years maybe. But I think that this will just be reversed. It's absolutely ridiculous. As much so as the next article that I wanted to talk about. Banks are fleeing crypto. I mean, what a headline. Bitcoin investors, you know what, JB, they should be worried.
So worried.
So worried.
Were they worried?
Like, I actually had to take a double look at the date on this one to see whether it was from like 2018 or something. But no, it's January 9th, 2023. And we're still seeing bullshit articles like this. Just, yeah, beyond me. Banks are not fleeing crypto. Like, they're embracing it, just in a different form to what is being articulated here. Then the rails are being, you know, built. The CBDC wallets, you know, are going to be linked to crypto projects and other stable coins, and crypto is going to flourish. Metropolitan, whilst a tiny at 637 million market cap, you know, has decided that they want to flee crypto. Bonkers.
Bonkers, I like it. Yeah. So we've seen all around the world right now, all these countries with their major banks are talking about CBDCs. Yet here we are, being told that banks are fleeing crypto. So one thing I will bring this back to is again to yourself and Nick in the morning. When you're told that crypto's bad, crypto's wrong, don't invest in crypto, that's when to invest in crypto. That's my take on it. You may be different, I don't know, let us know. But when I get told don't buy crypto, when I buy crypto,
it's a big sign that, you know, like something's not quite right. They might be tiny because of that mindset. Possibly. But I did want to come on to fraud, because I do talk about punishment not always fitting the crime. Ex-Coinbase manager's brother gets 10 months in crypto fraud. So this one's an interesting one, right? So product manager was sentenced Tuesday to 10 months for his role in a scheme to trade on confidential information about when cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase was going to list new tokens. He pleaded guilty, and basically, I guess they made more than $1 million on trades. So, does 10 months fit the crime? So, like, JB, if I told you, you know what, like, you you work for Coinbase, and you know there's going to be pumps for all these coins when they get listed, and I can give you that information, and you can trade on it, and you make millions of dollars. Maybe let's say you made $5 million because you did 5 trades. Is 10 months going to put you off in jail?
No.
Is it fucked?
I could survive 10 months in jail for $5 million, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay me $5
right?
million, I'll do 10 months, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, where is it? It's on my my Ledger hardware wallet, which fell out of the boat when I was fishing. Like, you ain't getting that back, right? I just think, yeah, the punishments have just got to be far more severe to put people off. I just think it's crazy. I saw another article.
This isn't the first time we've seen this though. There was a while back there. I'm sitting racking my brain when you were talking there. There was a chart we were looking at with Nick ages ago. I'm sure it was on an AMA, or it may have been a morning video. It may have even been when we weren't a part of Twitch yet. Anyway, there was clear patterns in the chart that it was, insider trading, went up, came back down, and it formed the same pattern. If somebody can remember what it says, please let me know, because I would like to go back and take a snippet of it. But there's clear patterns emerging here of insider trading, and they're only getting 10 months for it. It's scandalous.
Yeah, it really is absolutely bonkers. But I have seen an interesting article. Poor Bitcoin market liquidity keeps whales at bay. Are the whales not buying just because there's low liquidity? Which basically what the article is saying is it increases or decreases the price of Bitcoin significantly if you put big orders in. Is this the reason? They don't want to move the price up, they don't want to move the price down. Is that what is putting people off? Whales, big players off getting into crypto. It's an interesting take. What's your thoughts?
Well, so this came direct from CoinDesk.
Yeah.
Low liquidity means large buy and sell orders can significantly affect Bitcoin's price. Very obvious. It's evident. We know that. Somebody puts 10,000 Bitcoin back on the market, it's going to move the needle. Something's going to happen. Same would happen, somebody takes 10,000 off the market. If anyone is unclear as to what we're talking about, this is not us pumping cheeky crypto or the morning Twitch stream, but go on there and just spend half an hour, 15 minutes listening to what Chris tells you about the whale wallets. Understand everything that that he's put together here to show you the movement that whales are doing in the wallets, where they're buying, where they're selling, where the retail comes into it. Really, get your head around everything that's going on there. But back to obviously what you're saying, poor Bitcoin market liquidity keeps crypto whales at bay. It's just not time for them, is it? It's just not time. It's not cheap enough.
It's not cheap enough. I think that they will and have been moving the market significantly in the way that they want it to move. And I think that's going to be something that continues to happen. I think that, you only have to research through Google, some of the case studies of and experiments that are being done to find out how much money is required to move the price of Bitcoin. There's only one reason why somebody would work that out, and that is because they want to work. Yeah, they want to move the price in certain directions. They want to know how much it's going to cost them to do it. So these studies have happened. They've been put out there publicly that they've happened, which is mind-boggling to me. But it goes to show that these are banks that have gone and done it. I think it was a Bank of America. So are the Bank of America moving the price of Bitcoin? They've done I guess a study on it to see how much is required to do it. So a potential regulated entity potentially moving the price of Bitcoin. Again, just a sign for me that regulations is not going to change the people in the space. It really starts with and evolves around the level of punishment for the crime. And if the punishment doesn't fit the crime and doesn't put people off doing the crime will continue to happen. And I think that is just the world we live in at the moment. We could ask the question, if you could make $5 million dollars off of 5 trades from insider trading, knowing you're only going to get 10 months, would you do it? I mean, the likelihood is the majority of people would say, yeah, I'll do 10 months. I know I'll get out in 4. Like, particularly in the UK, for example. Might be different in the US, but yeah, look, you might not even get the 10 months. You might get off. Who knows? The prisons are full in the UK. So
Or
it's
you might just get asked to pay back 4 million, and you can keep the other million because you paid back the other 4. It's fine.
Yeah, you just take a fine, go down the bank route. But yeah, look, I think this stuff is absolutely nuts. I think it's crazy, and yeah, the world that we live in is just seems to be very, very corrupt in my opinion. So yeah, I think we'll probably look to wrap the podcast up. I think a lot of the news is just really around the stuff that we've sort of been talking about and been very vocal about, in the build up to everything we're going to see sort of unfold around Gemini, Genesis, Grayscale, the SEC. I think there's crazy stuff happening in the world when it comes to, stopping internet providers allowing, the public living in a certain area to access crypto related websites and stuff like that. This is just, control to a silly level. And I think the governments really do forget that they were put in power by the people. I think the people really need to demonstrate, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And when something isn't acceptable, the government need to know it's not. It's one of those. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, like obviously, like we have covered a lot of news off here. I want to bring us back right to the start of the podcast here, where we were talking about the Winklevoss twins, everything that's going on there between them and the DCG group. Please do give us some feedback on this. What is your sentiment? Where do you feel, or sorry, who do you feel is possibly helping the market here? Who is in the wrong? Who's potentially in the right? The Winklevoss twins, whatever, DCG group. Talk to us here. Let us know your thoughts, your sentiment on the whole subject. As you can see, there's lots going on. The market is absolutely insane right now. Just let it breathe. Let's get the end of a lot of these structures. Go from there. If you guys are trading, be safe in this space, guys. A nice tight stop loss. Make great gains. I'll catch you next time out.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's great advice. I think I would echo that and just say, remember to not treat exchanges like banks, self-custody your crypto. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you did, light up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.